In this video, I'm going to be giving you 3 beginner mistakes to avoid when it comes to selecting niches and what you should be doing instead. The number one mistake that you're making is you're either going way too broad or way too specific. So an example is going way too broad is like the whole mama niche. Like we all want to go into Etsy because we all want to design for moms or mamas. But this is the thing. At the beginning, your designs are not that great. Like you have to learn this skill, and part of learning the skill is developing the eye for designing. That takes time. So you coming into the market as a brand new seller with no reviews and no sale and creating a mama design, right? That either looks like what's already out there or it's not competing and nobody's looking for that. You're going to get buried in like the last page of Etsy, right? So this is why like going so broad when you don't know how to design, it doesn't help you get momentum because you are just like swimming in the sea when there's all these like big shops that are kind of pretty much eating you alive because they have the mama designs and they have the reviews and they have the sales. But then on the other side, it's also going way too specific. And what I mean by specific is, for example, I'm going to use myself as an example. Like I'm a twin mom, and twin mom is like, it's not specific. Like it's just like a, a like umbrella of a mom. So going after twin moms is great. But if you were to say, I'm going to go after twin moms of boys, that is just way too specific. Because like the amount of people that are looking for like twin mom boy things is a lot smaller than if you're just targeting the twin moms. So then now what is happening, because you're waiting too specific, you're also not going to have a lot of search volume because the amount of people that are looking for the item is not going to be a lot. So then they might find your stuff, but just by you selling like twin mom boy shirts or mugs or hoodies, whatever that you're selling, that is not going to be like enough for you to be able to like quit your job or for you to make like maybe a significant amount of money, because the pool is so tiny, because it's going to be really hard for you to target or go after a niche that is so specific because the search volume is not there. So again, like it's one of those things of like, either like you want to be in the middle, like not go so broad, and you can go after broad if you already know how to design. At this point, like in my shop, I do go after broad niches because I know what I'm doing. So like if you know what you're doing, of course, if you're creating designs that are based on research, that are adding value, that is not what's out there, then yeah, of course you can go after the mom or mama niche. But most new sellers don't know how to do that. So that's why it's just a little easier to go a little bit more specific. But you also don't want to go so specific that there's like no search volume. Like again, as an example, if I was to say, I'm going to design just for like twin moms of boy or just for twin mom of girls. Like that's a little too specific, too narrow, versus just saying, I'm just going to target twin moms, right? Or I'm just going to target homeschool moms, or I'm just going to target soccer moms or football moms. Like those are specific types of moms without going to like the next level of like narrow. So you want to find that sweet spot, especially in the beginning when you're new to designing, where you are targeting a specific type of customer, but you're not going so specific that there's also like barely anybody searching for that. The second mistake that I see like new sellers make when it comes to selecting niches is having no passion and only chasing money. So this is the thing. I'm not telling you to go and like design things that people are not looking for. Of course, you want to go after niches that people are searching for. But if you're only looking at like, oh, I only want to design this niche because this niche makes like all this money, or like this niche is hot right now, you are going to burn out. That's why there has to be some kind of passion in it, because this is the thing. At the beginning, you're not going to be good at designing. You got to learn how to design. You got to learn how to you got to learn how to list. You got to learn, how to find good mockups. You got to learn SEO. There's so many moving parts that you're learning that you're going to be creating listing and doing this and doing the research, and you're not going to see no type of like results. Like you're going to be doing all this work, and it could be a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I don't know, however long it takes you, and you're going to see no sales. And if you are creating or if you're adding in niches that you have no kind of passion in, guess what? You're going to burn out, and not only burn out, you're going to quit. So this is why I also created this whole free resource. It's a whole like niche exploration ebook. Make sure you do check it out. I'm going to be leaving a link for it in the description. But that ebook is literally like, it asks you a lot of questions about like, what are you passionate about? What do you stand for? So it's going to ask you all these questions to help you find a niche that not only are you like passionate about, but you can also make money from. So make sure that you do check out that ebook. It is completely for free. I'm going to be leaving a link for it in the description below. But again, you do have to find a niche that you are passionate about. You cannot just solely make it about money, because when you are in the valley and the really dark times and you're making absolutely no sales, no money, and you are just deciding in things that you're like, you don't really care about, you are going to quit. You are going to burn out. I'm not saying that you have to be like fully all in, but you have to have some kind of passion in it. That's why I usually suggest to starting with something like a hobby, something that you already know, or maybe like an occupation, like something that you're familiar with, because it's easier for you to stick out with that because you already know it, especially if it's something that like, you know, like the inside jokes, or you know things about it that other people don't know. It's gonna help you stand out because your competitors are not gonna know that. And again, when you are in those really dark places where you are putting in all this work and you're making no money because you pick a niche that you enjoy, you're going to want to keep going and want to keep going, versus like you pick something that just based out of money, or you have no idea about, or you don't care about. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to just quit. And especially for you to just be like, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. So make sure that you are finding a niche that you have passion about. You don't have to be like 100% all in, but you have to have some kind of passion in it. And it cannot just be just straight about money. Yes, people do have to be searching for this niche, but it can't just only rely on like money, money, money. You do have to have some passion or some understanding in this niche if you don't want to end up burning out or quitting. The third mistake that I'm going to add is this whole shiny object syndrome, which is like a lot of us suffer from, and it's chasing too many niches. I made this mistake, guys, and this is why I could not see traction. In the beginning, I was all over the place. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this, and I would do one design here, one design here, one design there. And of course, I was not that great. I didn't know what I was doing. So I would jump from one niche to another one, and then I would sit back and say, well, it doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work because you're not that great. You're new. You don't know what you're doing. And if you only add one design on this niche and then move on to the next one and move on to the next one, you don't know what really works. This is why I always tell you guys that you have to focus. Start with like one, maybe max 3 niches at a time, and really learn those niches. Really go deep and figure out like, you know, what mock-ups do well, what fonts do well, what colors do well, what those people like in those niches, what they don't like. Really become like almost like the master of that niche. Like learn that niche, learn the insides and outside of that niche. That's how you really get to break through niches. That's how you really get to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Jumping around from one thing to another, having one design here, another one here, like it's just not going to help you. You're actually going to burn out, and then you end up going to quit. And then you're going to say, oh, well, that niche doesn't work. Oh, nobody's making money in that niche. Well, of course, because you literally added 2 designs that were not that great, that nobody's looking for, that nobody wants. And then you went and did the same thing in other niches. The power of sticking around with like a niche is, as you make designs, you get better and better and better and better, and you'll start seeing what starts to work. And then when something starts to work, you add more of that that's working, and then that works, then you can bring that into other niches. But you only get to see that, or you only get to do that when you actually spend the time really submerging yourself into that niche and not just niche hopping. Because again, you either suffer from like shiny object syndrome, or you feel like by chasing all the niches all at one time that you're going to be great. It is the whole thing of like, you have to learn how to focus. It's the whole saying, like when you pick too many things and you think you're going to be the master of all, you end up being the master of nothing. That's the same concept with niches. Start with 1, maybe 2, max 3 at a time, and really go deep with those. Really learn them. Really figure it out. Become like the person, like become the master at that niche, that literally you learn your customers so well that you know exactly what to do, what to create. And when you make items and your customers land in those listings, they literally buy them because you have gotten so well at figuring out what exactly that they're looking for that they're just like, oh my God, I have to have this t-shirt because it was made for me. And then once you start to see what's working in those niches, then you can either like expand by adding it to like other products or expand that design to other niches. So you made it to the end of this video, and if you're looking for some Halloween niche ideas, make sure you check out this video next, because on that video I give you over 20 plus Halloween niche ideas that you could be adding into your Etsy shop right now. See you in the next one.